Everybody would join us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here we hear you there. You're on like the 2-second delay in case that way if you say something you're not supposed to, we can bleep you out. So.
Okay.
Glad to have you with us this evening. Before you go any further, I'd like if everyone would join us just in a moment of silence for several people. Unfortunately, this has not been a good time. Well, never it is for people with deaths, but we've had several people that are associated in one way or the other with the school system. So one would be Golden Atkins. Golden was a retired school bus driver. Many of you probably knew him over the years. His wife is still in very critical condition, so we pray for her. Another would be Rodney Vance, and many of you in the Guyan Valley area know him and the work that he's done there as a volunteer in many different ways for our school system. And the other person would be Ray Cummings, the father of Rod Cummings, our transportation director. A lot of people know Ray, and if you did, you enjoyed talking to him. Just a fine man. So if everybody would just join us just here for a brief moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. We send our regards and prayers to all those family members and friends of those people. Okay, let's go. We don't have anyone sign up to do it yet. So Ray, he's catching on now. He's looking at me. He's closer to him now, so I might turn that duty over to him. He's working. He's doing pretty good at it. Okay. We didn't have anybody on the agenda tonight. Jeff, or regular discussion either. So we'll just go straight to the administrative section, please. Could I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Rowdy?
Second.
Second by Larry. Is that an all yes? Look at those items? Okay. All right, Jeff?
Item A is Allen County student transfer for the 2016-2017 school year. Item B, school volunteers who on occasion may also serve as bus chaperones for athletic events, academic competitions, or school outings and have completed volunteer orientation. Item C, an agreement with the State Auditor of West Virginia to provide auditing services of the county's financial statements for the fiscal year ended June 30, 2016, according to the terms of the agreement, which is attached and paid for through county funds. Item D, an agreement with Republic Services to provide non-hazardous solid waste service for Lincoln County Schools to commence on July 1, 2017 and ending June 30th, 2018. The agreement is attached and is also funded through county funding.
Okay. Been out of the habit here, so I had us vote too early there. We're going to vote again here in a minute. All right, does anybody have any questions or comments or concerns about any of the administrative items?
You know how I feel about it.
Which one would you have something to discuss, Mr. Brooks?
C, of course. I think it's a crime. Now, we could get a private auditor to do this, and I think it's been done in the past, but I understand it was a disaster when we had one, many years ago. But it just seems to me like the legislature, if we have to have the audit, it seems to me like the legislature should provide funds for it. They shovel it in one door and then take it out the back door. That's just.
We understand.
I intend to contact the legislature. I know it's going to be a total waste of time probably, but I intend to contact the legislature as soon as possible and see if some funding can be provided for that.
Just another one of those unfunded mandates, unfortunately, we have to have.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Already working on that one, okay. All right, so that's obviously some of the amount of money there for the auditing services that are required. I understand where Mr. Brooks is coming from, as not only school boards, but county, state, everybody that does this type of business are required to do annual audits, and they require you to do them, and you have to pay for them yourself, so it's not good. I guess we'll have to do it. And then, of course, on D would be the other major action that would be taken tonight. It's on the trash disposal, and everybody got copies of the information on those, and you know, there's a substantial difference on the two prices for those 12 months, so.
I noticed that since we talked about this, that there is the exhibit fee, which provides that in the event service is poor, we can terminate with 30 days notice. And do they understand that we're serious about that provision?
Yes. Mr. Gosling's had 2 conversations since our board meeting regarding the concern that the service be up to our standards.
We, as far as I'm aware, had a great level of service with Mountain State, but the cost differential is too much to eat in these financial times. We know we have a history with Allied that was less than satisfactory. That's why we switched last year. And I think we need to really stay on top of this to set the tone right up front with them. Make sure they place the right types of containers, ones that are accessible, ones that will be fully loaded, and that if there are complaints, they are in writing and we are made aware of them. Because this is a problem where most likely it started with their having a monopoly in the waste management system here, and they became complacent. They provided the service they wanted to provide, not what they should have provided. Hopefully, they will understand that there is another option, and that if the service is poor, we will consider exercising another less inexpensive option next year. But there's no reason we can't get good service at these rates if we stay on top of them. So, I think that addresses probably every concern everybody has with this entire situation. And on one hand, excellent service, but $17,000 more per year, close on that.
Right. Well, I agree with you, and I've talked to Mr. Meekick about this, they're suggesting that he emphasize to our principals that they and their custodians monitor the scheduled pickups and make sure that those are happening as they should be happening. And if they aren't, that they contact Mr. Gosney and then let him know, so that everybody is aware of when they, you know, these custodians know when they are to have pickups. Typically, they come in and tell the principal if they don't do it, don't they? So we'll be monitoring that. But I
And then
think
the expectation as well that we receive new or like new dumpsters, you know, the 8-yard variety. We're sure that that happens as well. So we've been promised, and you've seen it in the contract, that's what will be provided.
I wonder, these dumpsters, of course, I've looked at them at the schools before, but I wonder if they have a place a padlock on them, so that people can't come in at night and put trash in there. The custodian, I mean, could unlock it every morning.
Most people use chains. Most businesses put a chain around and lock their dumpster shut at night to prevent that.
seems to me like we've discussed that
We
before.
did have that conversation,
I don't remember.
because we thought maybe there was a special dumpster out there that was available that we could, you know, ask or request to have in place. But I guess it exists, there's such animal, so I guess chains are unlocked.
Have you noticed, Barry, if these even have the place to?
No, I haven't, as many times as I've looked at them.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we talked about this, you know, a year or two ago, but I can't remember what we decided, we learned about them. Okay, well.
It'd be easy to weld a couple of padlock holders, whatever you're gonna call them, the padlock on them, if they permit you to do that. It's a simple thing to do.
What are they made out of?
It's plastic on top.
Well, it used to be
Yeah,
steel.
Yeah, they're now, it's
Oh, they're
plastic
plastic
now.
now.
Yeah, there's not much, they're flimsy,
No, it used to be solid steel.
so I'm not sure you could secure them.
Well, them at the school level monitoring and if there's issues with them. Okay, if nothing further then, is it an all yes vote on those administrative items?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to the finance section, please. Got a motion?
I move.
Okay, Carol made the motion, second by Fred. Ray?
The scheduled invoices totaling $1,903.20. Schedule's attached. If you have any questions about any of that, of course, just give me a call or stop by the office.
Anything else financially that you want to surprise us of or anything?
Nothing's on the horizon that I know of as far as anything tax related. Working on W-2s and getting 941 straightened out and 1099s. But nothing necessarily to report that's going on as far as that you need to be aware of.
I do want to thank you for getting the information to the prosecuting attorney on the audits from last year's required. Thank you for getting that done for us. Well, you'll keep us posted if anything do come to that.
I shall.
All right, thank you. Okay, is that an all yes on the finance items in place?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Personnel, schedule, personnel, motion please. Fred?
Second.
Second by Larry. Bill?
Item A, employment of short, long-term substitute professional personnel. Item B, employment of short, long-term substitute professional personnel pending renewal of certification. B, transfer of professional personnel. Item C, employment of professional personnel pending issuance of alternative certification. D, employment of service personnel. E, leave of absence. And F, resignations and retirements. And I give you a handout. Right now, we have 3 jobs, 3 vacancies. And 2 of those were created by people changing jobs. So I'd like to say that we had fully certified people in all those, but that's not the case. Some of those, we probably have 22 to 24 people on permits, first-class permits, that they're working towards certification, but that's always kind of been the case, but.
At least those people are having a commitment to get certified,
Yes,
right?
yes, they have to have, well, first-class permits, you have to have 25% of the coursework.
Right, and they have to continue to take those hours.
We finally got all of them filled at Midway. Duval, that's the math position that Mr. Sanson's leaving to go to Guy Valley as dean of students, but we have a young lady that's working on that. And then at Harts, I remember years ago, people would wait 20 years to get a health and PE job. Now you can't find a certified health and PE teacher.
Having social studies on there.
So,
Okay.
You know, and while I'm thinking about it, the last board meeting, we talked about a work session to look at finances, personnel for next year's staffing needs. And I've given you the date of February 1, and I still want you to hold that date, but we may need to move that out of necessity, because according to Mr. King, right now, we really don't have any information from the State Department regarding what our federal programs budget's gonna look like for next year. So that could delay us, a little while. Anyway, I don't think it's gonna be anything significant in terms of delay. We do have 2 additional months this year to go through personnel season. Everything doesn't have to be final until May 1. So again, I'd like you to hang on to that date, and we'd like to stick with that date if you can, but that all depend upon what we hear from the State Department regarding Title I and Title II.
Little information on Friday the 13th.
We do have a meeting, and hopefully we'll gather some information. Will help us.
Wonder who chose that day? Oh, Mr. Hackett. All right, any questions about any of those personnel things? I see we have a vacancy across the hall again.
Yes.
I don't know what that is, maybe that's a reflection on who works over there, I don't know. The secretary. Okay, is that an all yes on the personnel items? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay, comments, concerns, board members, anything? Carol, you got anything down there you want to share with us?
No.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Meekhead.
Okay.
What was yours?
The Lincoln County High School football field. I was able to get in touch with Dave Ferguson last week. And It was a good conversation, and Dave and I talked about the board's desire to get some work underway over there this spring by the 1st of March, if possible. And through that conversation, we talked about the scope of the work, the alternates that we'd like to have included in a bid specifications. He suggested that the board go through this process again of ZMM at no charge. They wouldn't charge the board any additional money to do this, but to develop the bid specs and to advertise that work over there one more time, because he thinks because of the change in the business climate, what he's hearing, what he's seeing, that there may be an opportunity this time around for us to be successful. So what we talked about was what we had discussed before, what we talked about a few months ago, and that would be a crown football field with all other areas on level out there on grade, sown in grass. So that would be the main bid specs. And with the first alternate being drainage installed, and the second alternate being hydroseed. So I thought I'd come back and share with that discussion with him. And talking to Mr. Gosney, I sat down and met with him, because we were talking about using some of our guys to do some of the work over there, which, Greg said we could do that. His men could do that work, but it requires to purchase some equipment. He mentioned that we can get our own transit, we get these equipment, maybe rent some equipment to move those. And the fact that, he's kind of shorthanded right now. He's only got 5 guys working over there, and that it would require work on weekends, the overtime that would be involved. So through our conversations, I think we both feel like, Rick and I both, that maybe we should give this a shot. Dave told me that he could have this turned around within the next few weeks, like by the end of January, have the specs, everything, bid this out, have the bid opening, and know something by the end of February, whether or not we're going to be successful.
It's a no-brainer, and he's exactly right. If you look at the downturn in the coal mine construction industry and in the gas line industry, there probably are a lot of earth moving companies out there that have a lot of capacity and a lot of work right now.
He believes it could be considerable increase this time around if we get it.
Well, we're giving it a try.
It's not going to cost us any more money.
Just a couple of ads in the newspaper.
There we go.
It's a no-brainer.
The only beneficiary.
Yes, you.
So I'll go ahead and get in touch with Dave Ferguson in the morning and let him know that we're seeing. He's already doing something.
We need to act on that officially at some point.
Yes. So I'll bring that to you in upcoming board meeting for you to approve. Hopefully the 17th, we'll have everything ready for you. I spoke to Leslie Tyree last week and an emailed with her today regarding the ramp and stairs, that issue, the ongoing concern we have over at the high school. She has participated in a meeting with Department of Highway officials. She has information to share with the board, and the earliest that she'd be able to do so would be the January 31st board meeting. Her schedule's just so busy right now. So I just want to let you know that she will be here on the afternoon of January 31st to give you an update on where we are. And that's all I have. These are just those conversations.
Okay, anybody have anything else? And we'll look forward to hearing when our work session's gonna be. That's subject to changes for now. We'll keep the 1st of February on that. Okay, nothing further? Call, or for a motion then to adjourn until January the 17th, 2017, at 6 p.m.
I move.
Rowdy beat Carol and Carol seconded, right?
That's right.
How all yes votes? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.